Hello, folks. This presentation is going to be called All Things Kindle. I'm going to show you all the features that I can think of in the Kindle app. I've looked for these kinds of videos on YouTube, and the explanations are either half-hearted or not complete and very boring. So hopefully this will be the best of them that you can find on the net. Now let's just begin with some basic premises. One is that you have to have an Amazon account to be able to use the Kindle app. Creating an Amazon account is not something I'm going to cover here now, but it is very simple and it is free. You can then download from the Amazon website the Kindle app. It is free as well. Or you can go to the Google Play Store to download it, or the App Store on the Apple to download it. You can also remember that this app works on all platforms: PC, Mac, iOS, which means iPhone or iPad, as well as the Android platform and the tablets. So this is universal. And by the way, the interface is identical in all the platforms. So if you know how to use it on the iPhone, you'll know how to use it on all the others. Since most people will probably go to their phone first to look at this app, I'm going to demonstrate it on here. Should you folks want to demonstrate it on other platforms, I'd gladly to do that as well. Just let me know in the comments. Now, so we assume you have an Amazon account, that you've downloaded the Kindle app, and then that you've purchased an ebook. I mean, if you haven't purchased an ebook, there's nothing to read, right? Also, you can download on the Amazon website for an ebook a sample of it for free. Let you look at the first maybe 5-10 pages to see how it looks, and you can find out if that's interesting enough for you to want to read it. So let's get started. The Kindle app. So the first thing I do here is I search for KI, and sure enough, besides Burger King, we have the Kindle app. Click on it once, and now we're going to go back. This is what you should see first when you have the Kindle app open. You'll notice at the bottom it has Home, Library. You notice Library is blue, but if you click on Home, Home becomes blue. And you see all the things, not only the books that you've purchased or samples that you've downloaded, but also books that Amazon is pushing on its Kindle App Store. So let's go to the library here. And here you have a book. I'm going to pick Adoniram Judson. Not that he's my favorite by any means, but I'm doing research on him. So I'm going to open him up, and he's a complete book, which means we can do everything we want on it. Now, since I've already used this ebook and looked at it, it's probably going to take me to the last page I looked at. So it remembers where you left off, unlike a paper book that doesn't remember anything. So let's continue on. And it puts me right to where I left off. But if you want to go back to the beginning, you can click on the top left, and you see that it has an arrow pointing to the left, or if you want, you can go to the table of contents and scroll up, and you'll see the cover. There you have it. Now, folks, I want to tell you that the Kindle app is so amazing. Amazon put such thought into it that, in my opinion, there's no better way to read a book than on the Kindle app. Whether you have a hardware Kindle, when you purchase the entire thing's a Kindle, or whether you read it on your iPhone, on your PC, or whatever. It is the best way to read because it has all the features that a regular reader would use. Now, first thing I want you to notice is that when you're in this mode, the pages are not full size, and you can scroll them. Now, you notice that some of these pages have a blue mark at the top right-hand corner. If you click on it once, you can take it out. If you click on it again, it's activated. Those are called bookmarks. Just like the little things you would do in a book, bend the page or have a little metal clip to mark the place where you left off. You can have as many bookmarks as you want. So we're going to set up a whole bunch. We did a couple more. We're going to scroll and click on there as well. So we have 3 of them open. Let's get back to our book. Now, how do you make the page full size? We'll show you in a second. Just click on the page and it'll be full size. But I want you to notice at the top, all these icons that are there. You have a magnifying glass. You have a little notebook with rings on it. You have the two A's, okay? And then you have the three dots. All the way on the left, you have the left arrow, which takes you back to the library of all the Kindle books you have. And you have those three dots. That usually takes you to the table of contents, okay? Now, let's go first and click on the book. Notice it becomes a big screen. Now you see everything. And notice this little feature. That's a page turn like on a regular paper book. And you can keep page turning and so forth. Now, what I want to do is show you some other features. You notice that the print, for some of us, as we get older, the print can be very small on these mobile phones. On the Kindle, it doesn't matter because you can resize it. So if I click on the left-hand side, top left, you see the two A's that appear on the right side there, top right? Click there, and look at this. You have all kinds of features. Now watch what happens to the text of the book. Make it as big as you want. Okay? Now let's say we leave it there. You notice we also have font, what I just went through, layout. Don't need to worry about that now. Well, if you want to click on it, because some of you are curious, you can decide the page color. So if you want to make it green, you have that. Brown, you have that. Black, you have that. I wouldn't suggest using the black background because it affects the color of the highlights. Yellow doesn't look yellowish. So I would assume that you just default to the white one. Then you have themes. Compact, standard. You don't need to worry about any of that. Okay? But when you go to more, actually, let's look, because I know some of you are going to want to know. Low vision. That's supposed to help you. Large. Standard size. Compact. You want to stay on the custom, which is the individual adjustment you've made for the font sizes. Then if you click on more, this is where it gets very interesting. You have a whole bunch of features here. The first one we read is Assistive Reader, which lets you, the Kindle can read the book for you. The whole book, if you want it to. Now, the voice is not the best in the world. It's somewhat mechanical sounding, but they'll get better at that. So if you have Assistive Reader on, you can tell it to read the text from the place where you start highlighting text. Real-time text highlighting. That's another feature you should have on, which allows you to see the word highlighted as it reads the text for you. Sort of like in the old cartoons where you had follow the bouncing ball, same thing. You have the reading ruler. Let's see what that is. Add a colored ruler over text to help guide reading. Let's see what happens with that. You turn it on. Okay. And you can determine where you were. That's actually pretty slick. If you go to red, or whatever you want. That's a better color, I think. But anyway, let's leave that on. I've never used it. But then we have reading progress. It shows you how to display your progress. So if you click on here, it'll tell you where you left off, and it'll show you if you keep reading at the pace you're reading, how long it will take you to finish reading the ebook. Let's go back. And now we have a clock. I leave that on because it tells you the time, so you know how your day is going and how much time you're spending on this. Then page turn animation is the feature that I had on, which allows you to flick the pages like it was a paper book. So let's continue, and we close that up. And now we have the text, the size we want it, and you can continue. Okay. And so, to be honest with you, this highlighting feature is more confusing than I thought it would be. So I'm going to turn it off. Go on the top left-hand corner. Go to the AA on the top right. And you can go to more. And let's turn the reading ruler off. It's now off. That's better. You can swipe that down. And now you are on here. Now let me show you what you can do. Pretty powerful. Let's say you highlight a certain text. So if we want to, by the way, you want to get to this is an introduction. If you want to get to the first beginning of the book, you click on the left-hand corner. See those dots? And now you can go to any chapter immediately. So we'll go to chapter 55. And now if you want to make the page full size, you simply click on it once. And now it's full size. You will notice that at the bottom it says 29 minutes left in chapter at the pace that you're reading. And it says you're 36% at the bottom right, a very small print. 36% of the book has been read. What Kindle means by read is that you've turned the pages. Okay? Now you'll notice that here, next to the person's name, Jason G. Dussing, there's a little 1 in blue. That's a footnote. Okay? And what you do is you click on it, and it shows you, my thanks to Zachary Bowden and Candy Finch for their review and comments on the draft of this chapter. Okay, you see the X on the right-hand side of that little window? Click it. Now you're back. So that's to show you how the footnotes can be. The footnotes can be very, very long. In my ebooks, they can be huge numbers of text. Okay? Now, if you turn the page, okay, and you're going to click on, let's say, any word, burial. Notice that when you click on the word, there's all kinds of features you can do to it. You can highlight that text. They give you 4 colors. And the wonderful thing about the Kindle is that the 4 colors, you can search for the highlights by color. Tremendous feature. So let's say we pick yellow. Okay, so you have yellow now. And you can extend that highlight to a paragraph, an entire page, to a large portion of the book. There's no limit to it. In this case, I've just chosen a word. So I'm going to click on the word again. And notice that we have a circle with a triangle in the middle of it facing the right. If you click on that, it'll read you the word.
Burial Hill marks the life of America's first commissioned
Now it starts
pioneer
to read the
missionary.
book. By clicking anywhere on the page, you can stop that from happening. Now, there's more things. You notice that there is a little, like 2 pages on top of each other to the right of the one I just pressed. If you click on that, it's copied. And that means you can copy any portion of this ebook and paste it into another application, a web browser, whatever you want, word processor, whatever. It's a great way to get quotes from there and, pasting them. It's very useful for people doing research, okay? But there's more. Let's click on the upper left-hand corner again to get to that feature. And you notice that we have you have a loop, okay? And if you click here, actually, let's see if we can click on the highlight again. That's what I meant to do. Okay. So we left off at the copy and paste. Then we have a pencil on top of a piece of paper. Those are your notes. You can annotate anything. So for instance, if you click on it, you can type anything. Who, for instance, is buried there. Okay. You notice how it appears at the top? And it says saved. Within seconds, it's saved to Amazon servers, which means that if you open the app in any other platform, the word and the annotations will be there. Now, if you click on the 3 dots, you can say view all annotations, or you can delete the note you just made. So let's say, for instance, I've done a lot of annotations in this book. Click on view all annotations and look at this. It shows you by highlight color. You notice some of them have different colors. Okay. And then what you can do here is tremendous. You see it says add note. You say, oh, I'd like to add a note to that point. Okay. Click on there. And this is an added note. Okay. It's going to be saved in a second. There it is. Saved appeared. And now if you close that on the X, you're back to your search. But let's go close that in an X. Now you're back to where you left off. And if you notice, to the right of the word burial, there's a small blue dot. You say, well, that's hard to click on. Well, try it. You click on it. And sure enough, it opens up the notepad and shows you what's going on or what you wrote down. You can make these annotations very long, like I said before. Let's X out of that. And now, I'm going to show you why you don't need an index in ebooks. That's only for a paper world, okay? If you click on the word there, and you not delete the note. Let's go back. Actually, you click on the top left. Let's click on the top left. You see that menu appears, and you see the looking glass. Now look at all the places. Okay, the word convention I highlighted at one point, and it shows me everywhere in the book in a second where the word convention appears. Try doing that in the paper book. Not possible. Okay? It doesn't have to be a word. You can highlight a phrase, and it'll show you where that phrase appears instantly. So let's hit the X and you can search for any word. Let's see if we can type in Judson and hit search. Well, it's searching through your notes. Now, that's fantastic, because sometimes when you annotate something, I wonder where it was. Man, I can't. Now, whatever you annotate or take notes on, you can search just the notes. And what that's telling me is that the word Judson is not found in any of the things that I highlighted. Okay, so let's close that and hit cancel. Now you're back. Now, let's just say for here, we click on a regular page again, and now on the upper left-hand corner, you click once. You notice the searching glass? Search for a word or a phrase. So let's type Judson again there, and then search. In seconds, it divides it into notes and highlights where you've highlighted Judson, and it shows you the colors. See 5 more at the bottom. You see it? Click there, and it shows you every place. And then it goes to the regular book where you haven't highlighted the word Judson, and it shows you every place where his name appears. Amazing. This cannot be done in a paper medium. Now, people understand this about reading a book. The most value you get from a book is not from reading it, but it's from your interactions with the book. So, for instance, if you make a note on something, the way you would do it on a paper book is you write with a small pen on the margins, right-hand margin. Hopefully you have enough space, and it gets messy after a while. And then good luck finding that highlight. You won't find it because you can't search it. But here, it's the interaction that you have with a book that makes it valuable. Let's think for a minute. If you lose the book, a paper book, well, you can always buy another copy. It'll be exactly the same as the one you had. But what won't be there is your interaction with the book, which is what makes you remember it. Those are gone with that particular book that was lost or lent to someone who never returned it. That's another classic story. But here, you can search it anywhere, anytime, from any platform that you have the app installed on. That's why we don't have an index in the back, because you don't need an index. You can find a phrase or a word anywhere, and in seconds it shows you everywhere where it is. Now, let's understand something about page numbers. In a paper book, you speak about page numbers because the text is formatted in a certain way in every book, and if you go to page 35 in every book of that publisher, that title, it'll be found there. Kindle apps, because they resize the screen and make it reflowable, page numbers mean nothing. So you are talking about locations. That's what they use. So, page numbers are for pages, paper pages. That world is slowly coming to an end. Anyway, so there you have it. That's an example of how you can search for anything. So you hit the X and you hit cancel, and it gets you back out to the book. So now you're there. Now, I'll show you different colors. So, for instance, now suppose you want to remove a highlight. That's another question. Well, simple. You click on the highlight, and you see that X on the yellow? That's the highlight color you use. Click it. It's gone. Now, suppose you want to delete a note. You see that blue note there? And you can go to the 3 dots and delete note. Delete. And it's gone. That's how you do it. So, you can see the power of this and the way to read. Now, if you want to bookmark a page, you can do it. See how I just went to the top right-hand corner, clicked once, and there it is, highlight and bookmarked. Can you search those bookmarks? You certainly can. With the same way you would search anything. So, anyway, that's what we're dealing with. So, this hopefully gives you an idea of the power of this app for reading and researching. And by the way, I'll show you another little feature. Some people like to do this. Click on the upper left-hand corner, and you, let's click on the page again. I think it's over here. So if you click here, and you click the notebook, let's go back. So you see, I did it too fast. You see next to the magnifying glass, you see a notebook with rings around it in it. Click there. And this shows you, notice the colors on the left, every place where you've highlighted in a different color in the entire book. These are all your highlights. 32 of them to be precise. Now, if you click on these three arrows here, you can simply tell it, I want to search only on the yellow highlights. Okay? And how do you do that? Well, let's find out. Filter. If we click on, okay, you see how a check mark came in the right? Now, I haven't highlighted anything in that orange color, but let's click it again, it disappears, but I only want the yellow highlights. And so now, what you do is, you X out, and notice it shows you only the yellow highlights. Tremendous power. So I hope that this is a helpful interface to this. I think I've covered all the major things except one more thing I'm going to cover, which is rather trivial, but it could be a nice thing for you to do. Let's click X out of there. And now we're going to go to the three dots show us what? Okay, this shows you the last page you went to. This can get you quickly to your annotations. Okay, you can recommend this book to someone online or on Facebook. Click there. And now what you want to do is this. Let's see if we can, that gives it to us. I saw it at one point. Themes. No, layout. That's not it. Okay. Well, shows you, even I don't know every little last thing in here. But let's go in here where I found it. I just bookmarked the page, notice. But if I click here, and nope, that's not it. And I saw it just before. No. No. Okay, here's how you do it. You search a particular quote that you highlighted. Okay, let's go back to one of them in yellow. Okay, click there. And you say, man, that's a great quote. I'd like to do something with it. Well, I think you can. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. On the top left-hand, you see how I highlighted the word the? Let's pick a better word than that, divinity. And you notice I can unhighlight, that's just that word. Or I can look it up, but here you notice at the top you have a dictionary built in. If you click to it, it doesn't seem to want to go there, but I don't know why. Well, we'll get to that later. But it also has a Wikipedia article on that subject. So if you say click Wikipedia, it takes you to that whole article on divinity, which you might find interesting side reading. And then what you can do, you see when you're done with it, on the top left-hand corner, you see a little word say Kindle. That's the way you go back to the Kindle app, and now you're back to where you left off. Now, there's something else. Let's say preface. Let's click any word. Okay, so now that whole passage has been selected, right? Now, I think you can do it this way. Let's go on again. Okay. I think it's in this share. You see the little square there next to the magnifying glass to the left of it that has an arrow going up? Let's click that. That allows you to share that quote. And you can do a nice little thing with it. You can go to here, right? Different designs, pink, blue. And then you can scroll to all different styles that you can do this. And once you have these quotes that way, you can post them from there. And you hit the share button. And then you have all the abilities of the apps that you want to do it to, wherever you want to go. And there you have it. It's very impressive. So, that gives you the ability to share it. But suppose you just want the text and not the image quote. That's the text. People can copy and paste it. In the image quote, that's just a picture with the text on it. And so if you've ever seen people on Instagram or other places put these Bible quotes or whatever they want to put in there, some timely quote, this is how they would do it on a Kindle app. It's much easier to do it that way. All right, so how do we get out of this? The X on the left-hand side. And now, how do we get out of this? Well, you click anywhere on the page, outside of it, and then you're back to your text. Now, if you want to get from here back to your library, click on the left-hand corner, very left corner, and you'll see this arrow to the left. And there you're back to your library. You can scroll up or whatever you have. I hope this has been helpful, folks. I've not found anything on the internet or on YouTube like it. And I hope if it's useful to you. If you wish to tell me about some additional features that I didn't mention, which I don't think there are, but if there are some, leave a comment at the bottom of this video and I will be glad to handle it. Have a great day and may the Lord bless you.